What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option, and this is your look at the week that was. Today, I'm going to talk about what happened with the SPX, the Qs. We're going to talk about non-farm payrolls, and we're going to talk about the VIX. We'll also take a little look at bonds and a couple of stocks that moved. So with that, let's dig in. All right, so in general, pretty good week for the markets. Not the most exciting week, but on the whole, pretty good week. We closed on this time last Friday at 60.32. We rallied about 1%. So a pretty inside week, if you will, for the overall market, and not just for the S&P, but also for the Triple Q. Triple Q had a much stronger week than the S&P, but it had been kind of floundering. Triple Q closed Friday at 509.74. It rallied really hard this week. We'll look at why that was here in a second. But the Triple Q, the big winner, the big loser on the week was the Dow. And the Dow didn't really lose. It lost a little bit over the week, but not very much, but just goes to show you. So you got the Q up, the Dow down, and that leads to the S&P being kind of floundering. The Qs were driven by Mag 7. NVIDIA, outside of Friday, pretty strong. Apple has just been on an absolute tear. It looks overbought. Be on the lookout for that one to potentially pull back. Broadcom, AVGO, it had been kind of stuck, absolutely exploded on Friday. Google, kind of the bastard of the Mag 7, looks really strong. Microsoft, look at that sucker go. And then last but not least, Meta. So this week was a Mag 7 week. It was not an industrial-led week. That's why you saw such strength in the Qs, whereas the S&P, which is a little less Mag 7 centric, or call it the Grade 8, was a little bit softer because it does really cover a lot more. The banks were weaker. Like Goldman pulled back a little bit, JP Morgan down a little bit, Bank of America down a little bit. So, a lot of the names that had been really strong did pull back a little bit, and that money flowed back into the mega caps. The Russell 2000, which had been, really had kind of really nice recovery here, kind of a down week. This might be an opportunity to get in. Why? Because bonds really firmed up this week. Really, if you're a market bull, bonds really look good. And then maybe the most bullish trend of the week, the VIX getting absolutely smashed. The VIX settled at 1277. My trading desk backbone strategy, SVIX, settled back above 30 for the first time in months. I'm really liking SVIX to continue to move higher. The wind is at the back of SVIX and in the face of things like UVXY and VXX. That futures term structure is really bullish the overall market. And then let's close with IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF, closed down. Closed up on Friday, but after a really strong Thursday open, kind of turned around, and it looks like that it may have kind of found its ceiling here for a little bit. So don't be surprised if things slow up here for Bitcoin. And what happened on Friday that was really fun is we had our first ever Delta Strike dollar shots. Now, there's still time to get in these trades. Andrew, Hans, Leisha, and myself each did one trade under $2. that we think could go up 100 to 200% by the end of the year. We call it dollar shots. In order to get access to these trades, you have to be a member of Delta Strike. There's still time to join. Click the link in this chat. Delta Strike has been on an absolute tear over the last few weeks. I'm firing on all cylinders. If you're not a member of Delta Strike, this is the weekend to change that. We have a very special price for you. Click the link. If you're watching me on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to hearing from you in my next video, which will be about a look at the week ahead. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a good one.